Welcome back to the Blox, the greatest show on entrepreneurship.
What am I doing here?
Reality struck. We are actually doing this.
I'm not sure what to expect. I can't believe I'm actually doing this.
What you'll see here is the largest live-in startup competition ever created.
Oh shit, this is happening.
I'm excited to win. First and foremost, I'm here to win.
It is a whirlwind of emotions.
I was just like, I don't know how prepared I am.
Entrepreneurs from all walks of life have been chosen from across the country to compete in an effort to be crowned the best startup on the Blox.
This is so cool. I can't wait. I'm nervous about absolutely everything.
I love hearing my name called the second time, especially when chatting with other people from the pod, they were certain that they were the winner, so I said.
I was psyched out today, for sure.
Motivated, hungry. So hungry, I am hunger.
Bloxers will be ranked from first to last in real time throughout the entire experience, with the current leaders wearing the red jerseys.
I can't wait to get started.
Here we go.
I'm Jack McCarthy, I'm from Los Angeles, and I do corporate team building events. In the last couple of years, we've had a lot of awesome clients, including groups from Amazon, Microsoft, Spotify, Google, Meta. We've had groups of up to 260 people all collaborating together as one group. I am really close to my family and friends that live in Los Angeles. I love going on walks and hiking. I'm also a huge escape room player myself, so I've played a lot of escape rooms. I also game master Dungeons & Dragons group and other role-playing games that I've been doing for a really long time. I think what makes me unique as a young entrepreneur is that when I was first starting off with my business, I was diagnosed with a lot of serious chronic health issues. I was in the middle of the pandemic, I got laid off, and I had to deal with moving, dealing with health concerns, and also trying to find a niche for myself in the entertainment space, which is really challenging. Since then, we've been able to grow a lot, and I'm really proud to say I've overcome a lot of those challenges, but it hasn't been easy, and it's a huge part of my story and why I'm here today.
I don't know what to expect.
A range of emotions is going through my head.
When I first walked in, I was like, oh my gosh, there's so many people here and they all seem so cool.
How am I here? Oh shit, this is happening.
Well. Welcome to season 10 of the Blox. This was an idea in my head a long time ago, and then just thinking back to the first couple of seasons when we did it in a home and who it was with and how we did it, and then to where it is at now, is just unbelievable. And so to sit here and see you all excited, to see every single chair in here taken, for me to have a borderline creepy amount of information on each one of you guys is a pretty fun sight, to say the least. Now, let me be one of the first to welcome you to the largest live-in startup competition in the world. We are going to be putting you through a series of tests, games, pitches, consults, coaching sessions in an effort to crown a winner of the Blox. And so with that said, I want to bring out the judges so that you guys can get an idea of who is going to be kind of guiding you through this experience. And so without further ado, bring them out.
Hi, my name is Alex Golombievsky. I'm from Ukraine. My family moved here 4 years ago to chase the American dream, but it wasn't easy. My childhood could be best described with poverty, struggle, welfare. I didn't go to college, but at 28, I did become an entrepreneur. And over the next 5 years, I started and proceeded to fail 2 back-to-back startups. But luckily, I was just too stubborn and stupid to quit. And I started a third business, and I've had a lot of people invest in me during that third business, and through a lot of hard work, lots of continuous learning, and honestly, the grace of God, that company did really well. And I'm just excited to be here. I'm honestly really honored, because throughout my entire life, I've had a ton of people invest in me, and I just can't wait to invest in you. So this week, I look forward to it. My name is Alex Golombievsky. I look forward to meeting and getting to know each and every one of you. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Courtney Carini. I am the creator,
co-founder and CMO of Crazy Go Nuts. It's a walnut snack company. I'm also an ADHD coach and influencer, and I'm a student of psychology, so I'm about to get my degree in addictions. I'm pretty proud of how I've been able to tackle all of these different things in my life simply because of who I am and what my attitude is behind it. And that's why I believe in every single one of you and how you can do exactly what I've done as far as scaling absolutely anything, because you have the right attitude, and I have a feeling that's what's brought you here tonight.
Hi guys, my name is Heather Beck, and I own Canine Lifeline and also a product company called Heather's Heroes. Some of you guys might recognize me if you are fans of the show The Prophet on CNBC. I was actually featured on the last season, and I have a business partner named Marcus Lemonis. Canine Lifeline is a training-based training, boarding, and daycare facility. We specialize in socialization with difficult dogs, but we like to work with all sorts of dogs. And then Heather's Heroes, the product line, is actually based around my signature tool called the Sidekick, which is a head collar and slip lead in one. Thank you so much, you guys, for being vulnerable this week. And I guess the biggest thing and the biggest question is, how open-minded are you? And I hope that we can maintain that throughout this experience over this week. So,
my name is Brian Lockery. I'm currently running a business called Pro Mobile Advertising right now, and we own and operate LED billboard trucks in the New Jersey and New York market area.
Yeah, so life has changed a little bit since the last time I was here. Before, I said that I was a father, an athlete, and an entrepreneur. I'm now a husband. I recently got married since I was on the Blox before. Still a father, still an entrepreneur, still an athlete. Those things will never be given up. But you know, my beautiful wife Yen is now a new addition to my family, and I believe that's an important step, and that's an important piece of the puzzle.
Hello everybody, my name is Stephen Otunzu, and this is my wife Simone Otunzu, and we are here together as a team. The reason why I wanted to introduce her is because my story starts with her, and that is because our first business that we actually started together originally was her idea. That prior to meeting me, she went a few years pitching to multiple people, and just like you guys have probably experienced with, you guys have an idea, y'all want to do something, y'all trying to show everybody, hey, this is something that I believe that can be great. And you guys as entrepreneurs, most people will look at you all and just say, I don't believe you. I don't think that's going to make it.
I love helping small businesses. I'm part of the NSBA, the National Small Business Association, and I advocate for various causes and ways to implement small businesses so that they can grow. I think this experience here, you're going to network, meet a lot of great people, keep in contact, because this here, if you don't have the support system, as I say, build it, and you'll just excel from there.
My name is Jonathan Fudge, and Wes has said that I am probably the best Blox participant player ever. So I'm just throwing that out there for you guys. I've sat where you sat. I've been in your position 2 times already, and that's one of the reasons why I'm here.
I was here on season 4 and season 6, and what I took away is that I don't have to have the same definition of success as everyone else. I've decided to find my own sweet life, and I live that sweet life. And so I'm here as a judge to not only bring my knowledge and my passion for business and love of that, but also my love of this game, and to kind of help and mentor the contestants here, but also help them in their businesses to find what their definition of success is and to help them reach that for themselves as well.
My name is Marcy McKenna, and I am an inventor and I'm an entrepreneur. About 10 years ago, I was on an invention reality show that Kelly Ripa was doing. She searched the country for female inventors. Over the past 12 years, have successfully commercialized about 35 of my inventions or products. And I now run the Women Inventors Club, which is about 700 women that are locking arms to do the same thing, to bring their ideas to market. And I also just recently launched the Live Shopping Academy. So I am helping to teach people how to kind of harness the power of live shopping for their brands. So it's for brands, for influencers, and for just product-based businesses in general.
Well, first off, thank you guys for your time and investment in everybody this week. It is obviously not an easy ask to provide the amount of energy and time that you're going to be doing. Who they are and their backgrounds and how different all their different skill sets are is not easy to cultivate. And here it feels like almost any question that I could possibly ask, there's an answer somewhere in there. And so thank you guys very much. And we hope that you enjoy and learn as much this week as the participants. At 11 o'clock every day, I'm going to teach a class. And that's going to mark the foundation of the day. It'll be the theme or the subject that we'll talk about throughout that entire day. In this game, you are going to be doing, there are 3 different main core exercises that you'll be doing on an absolute daily basis. The first of which is what we call the exercise. I will stand up here at this exact spot every single day after lunch, and then we will present to you some sort of a game. It could be a presentation that you have to give. It could be a pop quiz. It could be a fill in the blank, who knows what. Then after that exercise, then you will then sit with said judge and you will have a one-on-one consultation. They are going to be providing advice on that day's subject, but they're also going to be testing you in a long-form capacity about who understands the material that was taught that day the best. Then what is going to happen is out of that pod, which there's about 10 or so people per group, whoever wins that will come up on stage that night and compete against all the other pod winners to figure out who has won that day. Now, at the end of the week, we are going to culminate with 3 winners of the Blox, as in these are the top 3-point scorers. Then the next 3-point scorers will be the runners-up of the Blox. So in other words, they got 4th, 5th, and 6th place. And then we will have 4 different categories after that. We'll have 2 people that will win most investable and 2 different companies that will win most valuable. Whoever is in the top 3 at the end of the night, we'll announce who's basically in the lead. We will not delineate between 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. You'll just know who's in the top 3. Those 3 will then wear the red jersey the next day. It says Blox are on the back, it's red. You should feel proud because you're doing very good. But to all the other people, red is a target. Go after those people. This is going to be one of the most important weeks of your entire lives, and I'm going to make sure of it. I wish you all the best of luck. I cannot wait to see the winner of season 10. And with that, I'm out. Bye.
What are you looking forward to this week then, as a judge?
So one of the things that I noticed when I was a contestant is that people would ask for a lot of different things, and I was able to help with a lot of questions that people had and just explaining some of the content that we were covering, because I'd studied a lot of it too. You just present it slightly different. So like, I'm really excited to be able to bring that on a mass scale to more people.
Well, well, well. Day 1 is upon us. I can sense the excitement. I can sense the nervousness. And I think it's a nice, healthy combination of both of those 2 things. Because if you're not excited, you're not paying attention. And if you're not nervous, you're also not paying attention. And so here we go. This is the advanced social media pay-per-click philosophy.
I think a lot of small businesses are terrified of social media because that's just not their forte. It's essentially learning another totally different industry.
We want people to follow our pages because they feel like they're going to be entertained, they're going to be smarter, they're going to be better humans because they've pressed that follow button.
So a big unlock for me and my business was starting to understand PPC, pay-per-click, because it really allows you to take what is such a wide platform where there is so much noise and it's so oversaturated, and it lets you get laser focused on who that particular customer is and what their pain points are and get right to them.
The first exercise of the week. Now, get your pens out. The average revenue I earn for my product or service per unit sold is fill in the blank. The average amount of times a customer will repeat purchase is fill in the blank. This means the lifetime value of my customer is fill in the blank. My profit margin is roughly fill in the blank %, which means the average profit I make over a customer's lifetime is fill in the blank. This means if I run ads, my cost of customer acquisition needs to be lower than fill in the blank.
The exercises went well. Some people were nervous, some others, you could tell this subject matter was just not on their thought process. It just wasn't on their radar at all.
Every business has their own individual nuances that they did kind of struggle with. I believe every single one of them saw the potential and saw the value in leaning into the pay-per-click as a means to both potentially get customers, but more importantly, learn really quick. The consultations were fantastic. The ones that stood out are the ones that were able to really think about the material that we covered today on the pay-per-click and the social media ads and ask questions around how do I do this particularly for my business.
What do other businesses really care about in looking at, like, I find that they don't really care about the 5, 10, 20% off sale so much as they do about the value, and I'm just having a hard time really tapping into what they actually want to hear, and I was wondering what your B2B marketing tips would be.
So it isn't actually that different between B2B and B2C as far as the customer and their psychology. You still have to get to the point where you really know exactly who your customer is, exactly what their motivations are, behaviors, and their big problem points for it too. I've always broken it down into really getting high clarity around the 1 to 3 problems that they have, what their goals are, which is more of a what, and then their motivations is the why behind it. Those will color your understanding of what you need to say and articulate for them to say, aha, I get it, and yes, this is what I want to do. And so to your point, you mentioned, for instance, that it's potentially a delegated task to like a manager, for instance, right? I would reach out to them and start asking, because you will have decent guesses, but they're going to be a shade off. You just don't know what shade and where, right? Early in entrepreneurship, when you're trying to figure it out, jump on the phone and start calling your happy customers and find out what they have in common, find out why they chose you, find out what else they used and why they didn't choose those, and that will start giving you the breadcrumbs to start understanding how to position your product from like a unique selling proposition and what they care about most. The room had a lot of energy for the Blox Off tonight, for sure. The people behind me, I mean, you can tell that everybody's excited and looking forward to seeing what these people do here. They were just chosen from each and every single one pod, so they should represent well.
What they're going to be doing tonight is they're going to be presenting a 3-minute presentation on their social media thesis. We want to hear what their social media strategy is, and then we want them to give us 2 examples of posts. 1 value post and 1 harvest post. I want them to paint us a picture. I want to be able to visualize the pictures. I want to hear the captions. I want to be able to get into it and also see what it's like when they're writing copy or creating pictures or whatever for a harvest post versus a value post. So with that all said, let's bring out the first contestant.
My social media strategy actually focuses a little bit more on something we didn't talk about today, and that is LinkedIn. That is where my professional audience lives, and that's where I have a great following, so we will start there.
I will be doing some harvest posts as well as some value posts. So my value post is initially, both are going to be on the Instagram platform, and I'm going to do them both as reels.
So in your business, we don't have to overhaul and rebrand everything. What is that one small tweak that we're going to make that's going to change the game for you?
I have a podcast, and so most of the people find me through my podcast. My podcast then takes people to my website or a Facebook community.
My plan, it's a 5-step Instagram ads drip,
using pay-per-click ads focused on strong headlines, captions, and images specific to the Instagram formatting.
The Harvest Post is going to say, hey Phoenix, get your yard and your oasis free, poop-free and party-ready. And we're going to have a before and after picture on there.
The first things you have to do is kind of know what your purpose is. And so my purpose is to improve my social proof, add context to what I do and why I'm different, and also add value to potential customers, and ultimately monetize a community.
I think that everybody hit every point. I don't think anybody completely bombed on the Blox Off that I recall.
In third place, Renew Concierge Physical Therapy. In first place, Cut the Crap. In second place, the Neurodiverse Teacher. That was a great way to start this off. I think that we can do better. And only because that's the point of this entire week. This was a great day one, debatably one of the best day ones that we've ever had. But let's call a spade a spade. This is the easiest topic that we're going to touch all week. If you thought that this was complicated, then you're in for a world of hurt starting tomorrow. So training wheels are off. Get some rest. I'm out. Bye. So today's class, it's basically two smaller classes that I feel have incredibly complementary things about them. As in, if there was a Venn diagram, then there would be a massive crossover between inbound marketing and personal branding. And that won't make a whole heck of a lot of sense until I get through the inbound marketing portion of things. Then I'll explain the personal branding side of things, very quickly touch on why they are so connected, and then end heavy with some personal branding in a way and a type that we've never taught before. We're talking about the brands of you as individuals. Because whether you like it or not, as the CEO and the founder of your ventures, you are the faces of this company. It's going to be the things that get the larger, later stage, bigger partnerships, bigger sales to close, is because they want to work with you.
The biggest struggle for this topic was clearly, what is the difference between personal brand and business brand? And then beyond that, a lot of people haven't thought about themselves. As entrepreneurs, they're like, oh, I just work. Or this is what I care about, blah, 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 and it has nothing to do with business. And they separate those things. Is your brand exist whether you realize it or not?
They're going to be giving a 3-minute presentation on their inbound marketing strategy. They're going to have to tell us what modality they've chosen, how they're going to get people to consume it, how they're going to get their list to grow, and then they're going to talk about what percentage of this inbound marketing is going to be value-based and what percentage is going to be commercially enabled. In other words, what percentage are they going to be just talking about whatever is educating and informing, and what percentage is going to be derived to get them to convert into a sale.
Inbound marketing strategy is really, really simple. I go on Instagram and I post in reels trying to solve the simple fixes because my job is really, really simple. I'm trying to keep golf as simple as possible because this game is hard as shit already. There's no need to make it any more complicated than it has to.
The traditional style of etiquette is not what I'm trying to provide to my customers. I want to provide empathy and compassion and confidence.
So yeah, like I said, I'm a fairly new business person, and so using this kind of inbound marketing is going to solidify me as an authority.
How am I going to create an inbound marketing strategy that reaches the masses of women that I need to be a part of? They're going to see that I've been doing the work. I educated myself. I immersed myself in my community. I had the conversations with the people and I asked them, what do you want?
If you can't tell, I am all about garnering attention. Not only is it what I do for myself, it's what I do for my clients every day. And I get attention by making copy sexy again.
So let's talk about inbound marketing. I already have a podcast. I don't use it like I should. What we do, I'm gonna tell you right now, we have 650 listeners and I'm just letting them sit there. So I'm going to take that and I'm gonna put it into work.
I have 2 podcasts that I am the primary host of. One is called The Neurodiverse Teacher, and the other one is called 2 Neurodiverse Moms. And how I utilize getting that out is I use this platform called StreamYard. It lets me send it directly to YouTube, to Facebook, to LinkedIn.
Oh my God, everybody was nervous the first day, and you talk about night and day. People were in their own skin. They were out of their shells in this Blox off, and it showed.
There's a tie for 3rd place, in no particular order. Chris Murray Golf. The Neurodiverse Teacher. In 1st place, make it happen, sis. All right, let's talk about who's in the lead in this game. The people that will be wearing the red jerseys tomorrow. This is proof that consistency matters. In no particular order, we have the etiquette effect. The neurodiverse teacher. And cut the crap. I know that it feels like we've been here a long time. I know that these are long days. I know that we are tired, and I'm about to say something a little scary. We're not even halfway done. So that means that there's a lot of game to play. There's a lot of friendships to continue to build. There's a lot of things to learn.
So I just got back and they just made a very special announcement that they did not tell us before we got here. And that was that in addition to having the top 3 winners that they usually do for the Blox, this time, for the first time in Blox history, they are going to have one singular winner who will win a $5,000 prize. None of us knew this before we came here, and I could feel the competition heating up.
About one of the most complicated set of things that there ever could be. It's hard not only to understand it, it's hard to understand why you even need to understand it, and it's hard for me to make the important realization and snap in your all's heads why it's relevant to you. I'm gonna do all of that stuff, and I need you to follow along.
It's incredibly important to teach early stage ventures right now about late stage fundraising because there's such a finite window of when you can actually go out and get that kind of fundraising.
I think learning about later stage funding is super important because even though you might not be ready for it right now, it's something that you should continue to be thinking about even for the future. And that as your business grows, I know for my business, every time I've grown a little bit, it's been getting to that next stage and realizing the things that got me here are not the things that are going to get me to the next step.
Talking about fundraising as a company is one of the most talked about subjects that there is. It's, in my opinion, one of the most irrelevant, but because it's talked about so much by society, it means that it has to be relevant for us. And I want y'all to walk out of this casino with, with a profound understanding of how this industry works, when you'll eventually qualify, and why we're not there yet, but then we'll have a direct path there.
So some of the documents that a startup would need to have prepared before they start fundraising include having a really good budget of how much money you're asking for and what you're gonna do with all that money, an executive summary, just going over a snapshot of your business, what you do, where it's been, where it's going. You're having your financials really dialed in, a cap table that shows exactly who owns what percent, and that might just be you at 100%, might be you and partners or whoever else you've given equity to.
So today's assignment is going to be very different. I don't think there's anything for you to write down. Sure, you can write whatever you want down. This won't help. We are flipping the table around. For this activity, you are the investor, and your coach is going to be pretending to be an entrepreneur. We're going to ask you questions, and you're going to answer them as the investor, consulting them.
I was actually really impressed with how well the people in my pod spoke to this subject matter. They really seem to understand, they seem to really be students that have absorbed this material.
Sorry for the spoiler alert, but no red jersey is on this list. Neither is an alumni. The winner of Alex's pod, Abitur. The winner of Courtney's pod, great team building.
I felt like I did a good job in the pod, so it was really rewarding to hear just somebody else validate, like, oh, I'm with a bunch of entrepreneurs and people think I'm cool.
Winner of Heather's pod, the Parallel Agency. The winner of Brian's pod, Jeffries LLC. The winner of Simone and Steven's pod, E616 Consulting. The winner of Judge Fudge's pod, EC Brand. And the winner of Marcy's pod, Dory's Create and Inspire Consulting. So we're flipping the roles from what happened this afternoon. I'm back to being the investor. We're now talking about your business. I'm going to be asking you a series of questions. You have 1 minute max to answer each one. What type of traction do you think that you'll need to exhibit before you qualify for formal angel investment firm dollars? And yes, we want to hear about your revenue, but preferably augment that with 1 or 2 other forms of traction that prove growth.
Yeah, the main metrics I can think of for traction would be our revenue numbers, but our critical number in our business that I say right now is the number of players. So the number of people that we're actually working with, because we also charge per person. I would also count the number of companies that we've worked with. So right now we've worked with over 850 companies, but I think that number should be a lot bigger and the number of teams can be a lot bigger. And then I also think as far as like frequency, like how often they're booking is gonna be huge for us. So as far as revenue to, categorized for venture capitalist funding or
angel firm.
Angel fund. I think we would probably want to hit this like 7-figure mark about like $2 million. Our profit margins are really high right now. And then as far as team, that would equate to about 700, sorry, I'm doing the math real quick, 1,500 players a week. And then that would also mean that we're booking probably on average of like 60 games a week.
Can you give us a rough idea of what would go into your executive summary?
Yeah, I would talk about our mission, which is to improve what we do, so improving team company culture, performance, and engagement, and then the 2 ways we do that, because we have 2 main branches. One is fun, fluffy, feel-good events. One is actually building team skills and structure. What our revenue numbers have been so far, our traction right now, we've doubled year over year, and I think that growth is really important. I own 100% of the company still, as well as the history. I think that showing off the history that we've had and all those factors.
Can you describe how you might use funding tranches, and strategically, why would you do such a thing?
Yeah, strategically I would do it so that way we're ready to, we want to grow at the right step. Taking in $2 million right now is going to give my whole company away, and I'm not going to be able to actually use that to grow step by step. So I'd probably start with like a high net worth individual, get some capital in for marketing influx, I think is what we need right now. And then after that stage where we've been able to grow and scale it, then go to an angel firm and tranche and be able to keep more of the equity that way. So that way I'm not giving a huge amount right off the bat, but I'm giving just enough to what I need to give in order to scale to the next step. I was expecting to have a little bit more of like a dialogue or analyze a business, and they're like, no, pitch your own business as if you're ready to be investable, which was very intimidating. I do not think I did as well as I could have.
What type of traction do you think you'll need to exhibit before you qualify for formal angel investment firm dollars?
Excellent. So right now we are at a revenue of about $150,000 a year. So I think we're definitely going to need to size that up. But we are really strong in our email list. We've got about 16,000 students on our email list. So I think if we can bump that up to between 20, 22, we have a conversion rate that's going to really allow us to be successful when we're at the 2022 phase in order to reach our goals for 2024 as we see 60 clients per year.
Paint me a picture of the type of angel firm or venture capital firm that would invest in your venture when you've gotten enough traction. We're essentially looking for their thesis.
When looking at an angel firm that I think would invest in my company, I would need someone who is interested and focused on matters of diversity and inclusion, someone who is interested in intersectionality and the unique plight of Black women, and someone who is interested in work that improves the lives and the conditions of women.
It was maybe a little more tense than it had been previously. I think the topic was hard, so I feel like it was a little more tense, but maybe not as fun or as goofy. I felt like they were a lot more nervous about this topic.
In third place, E616 Consulting. In second place, Great Team Building. And in first place, the Parallel Agency. Now, shocking. First off, we've got a tie for third place, which means there will be 4 people wearing the red jersey tomorrow. Great team building. Cut the crap. The neurodiverse teacher. And the etiquette effect. There's like 15 of you within striking distance of first place. If you think about it, you consistently are all scoring points. And if you lose to one of these people, you're only down by like a point. The point of the game is that everyone is really close. Don't phone it in. You've got a lot of game left to play. 2 big, important days, and I want to see you all finish this game very strong.
I just got back to my hotel from competing on the Blox today. It was all about investment, funding, and scaling your business. And for those of you who don't know the show, they have the top 3 people who are doing the best in the show. At the end of the night, they have you take home a red shirt, and you will be wearing it the next day to designate you are in the top 3 position and that you are one to watch out for. So I don't want to spoil anything, but I will be wearing my favorite color tomorrow. So feeling pretty awesome.
Well, well, well. You all are here because we've narrowed it down to this group to choose exclusively from when it comes to either the most valuable or the most investable. What you're about to experience will not be fun. I'm gonna ask a bunch of really invasive questions very fast.
That was a very intense session. I was in awe and just honored to be in the room with entrepreneurs who were clearly crushing it.
I hope that this was, just a unique feature of, when you go back home and kind of see what it's like to hear the hard questions that someone like me might ask other companies at different stages in different industries. And you know, you got to witness a lot of really good answers from all over the place. And you also got to see some places where it's like, maybe I wouldn't have answered that way. If you were to ask any small business owner how they scale, like an old school soul, then what they would say is, I just work more hours. I work harder. And that's what they mean by scaling. As in, their definition of scaling is just earn more revenue. So they're like, okay, the way to earn more revenue once I'm at capacity is to, instead of working 8 hours a day, to work 10 hours a day. And instead of working 5 days a week, we work 6 days a week. And the next thing you know, you're working 7 days a week, 16 hours a day, and that's how you scale. Because a lot of the problems that we're incurring, it's kind of like, oh, I can't pay for that bill, or I can't fund this expense, or I can't get that next fill in the blank thing that costs money. How do I get that money? And then the answer kind of almost always is revenue. How do you get more revenue as a small business owner? Work more. And that is not the answer. Now, there's this concept from Michael Gerber where he talks about how he describes it is the inside of every organization, there's what's called a technician, a manager, and an entrepreneur.
So the technician is somebody who's actually in the business day to day. They're the one who's providing the service, making the product, doing whatever the main thing is.
And the manager's going to oversee that and make sure that they're held responsible.
And then the entrepreneur or CEO is the one who's creating the systems in place for the manager and technician.
These three things, when they're different people, there's like a power struggle between the three.
A system is any sort of process or repeatable set of actions that you have that can help streamline either a product or service or something that needs to be done.
In the regular world, that's going to be this good old SOP, the standard operating procedure. In the Blox, we call it the playbook. So it's our playbook in figuring out what can replace what to pretty much take ourselves out of a job. So could be software, could be employees, could be a combination of the two.
It can really help you scale, and not only by taking the human out of it if you're able to put it into tech, or take it off your plate if another employee can then go and do it because then they can follow the system, but then it's repeatable and scalable.
Well, well, well. Day number 4 exercise is ready to go. Today you have 15 minutes to craft a 3-minute presentation on your systems and playbooks. I want to know 3 of the processes or tasks that you are repeating the most. Then I want to know what types of technology you're going to use to build systems around scaling yourself out of those things. And then I want you to take one of those 3 processes and walk your judge through it. Well, 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 what is going on? Another fantastic day in the books. The scores were a lot higher today than they were yesterday. And either you're getting a lot better or I'm getting a lot better, but I think for all of our sakes, let's say it's both. The winner of Alex's pod, Cultivate Recovery Center. And the winner of Courtney's pod, Wonderlight Jewelry. The winner of Heather's pod, your creative concierge. The winner of Brian's pod, great team building.
I was so excited. I was really hoping. I felt good about today. But there was some fierce competition just in my pod too. I mean, a couple of the Blox Off winners from last night were in my pod too, and so that was intimidating, and I had to go first. And nerves are definitely high. I know I'm running on adrenaline. I feel like I'm gonna crash any second. So I'm just keeping my brain awake. But it was so awesome to get to be called up again. It's like, okay, I'm doing something right.
The winner of Simone and Steven's pod, Chris Murray Golf. The winner of Judge Fudge's pod, Quality Diamond Wholesale. The winner of Marcy's pod, Badass PMU.
The energy was electric. People brought the heat. Everybody who was up on stage deserved to be there. In fact, there was a lot of people who weren't up on stage that deserved to be there too. It was that cutthroat of a competition. Everybody brought the A game.
There are people exhausted, but they are running on adrenaline and they're on stage and it's their moment to shine. You understood the assignment. You took the lesson. You took the time to make yourself better in your consultation. You took the time in between your free time to go ahead and make sure that you were gonna crush this assignment, and they all did it. And I'm just honestly, we're really impressed with the entrepreneurs that we have here, and we're just lucky to have them to be able to coach.
So I got up and he's like, your time starts now, like hoping, and I trying to find where my presentation was. And it told the room who I was as I kept flipping through it, like trying to find it, couldn't find it, closed the book, and did the best I could from memory.
I'm Jack McCarthy. I'm part of Great Team Building. We do virtual team building, improving performance, engagement, and company culture. Some of the things that we do in our business that are really holding me back are three main things. One is actually hosting all the events. So that takes a lot of time in the way. I want to help systematize that so I can focus on being the CEO and working on my business, not in it, and steering and helping us grow, which is lead generation, which is the big thing I need to get to. I can't spend time doing day-to-day, which includes running events. Something that we want to do for this is we want to script everything, systematize with videos that are all put into G Suite, and I'll dive more into that in a little bit. The second thing that I want to do is we do follow-up emails after every single event. That takes a lot of my time rewriting, hey, here's your review link, blah, 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 blah. And I want to systematize that so after it schedules an hour after their event is done, we're going to send it to them through our CRM system with their team photo attached, because our game master is already filling out a report and attaching that photo, so connecting that directly. So we don't have to match that together, it just sends them out through a CRM system. And the third thing is I get a ton of questions from clients, especially when we do custom stuff. And I want to build an FAQ where we can systematize every time I answer a question, either an email, or if I'm talking face to face, I just want to copy and paste it and plop it in there, or record it and then plop it in there and reference it. And then we can take those materials and edit them, and then I can record videos of myself as well. The one I want to dive into most today is with my host system. So the way, instead of me having to train live, what I want to do is record training videos. So when we're in there, I'm recording a training. I have them go and watch the training through a table of contents that's accessible. Here's your first training, second training, third training. They go through and watch everything. Then they, through G Suite, complete a Google form quiz that will automatically score them, so they and we know how they did and where they need to go back in the training to review and watch. Then, very much like you all auditioned for the Blox, where you submitted that automatic interview and sent it, all our events are live, so I want them to film like parts of the events to test them, and then we can give them feedback, and my manager can go down a checklist and say, okay, they did that, they did that, they did that, and pass that off to them as well.
What's something that you took from either your consultations or the ones that you listened to today that's like a nice little gold nugget that you'll be able to take back home next week and immediately implement, no matter how small?
Oh my gosh, so many things. I mean, one of the big things that really stuck out to me personally was like, how do you eat an elephant one bite at a time? It's like to find the bottleneck task that's slowing you down. What are you doing the most? Where are your customers getting the most confused? Where are your employees getting the most confused? Whatever's holding you back the most, start there. I think prioritization has been a big thing on my mind and a lot of our minds. And so I think that was a really golden nugget of like, hey, like sitting down with my team in my right hand and saying, where are our biggest bottlenecks and problems? And how do we get a system in place for those right away?
How are you going to infuse a culture of using the playbook into your team?
I'm not going to answer questions. I'm going to say go check the playbook. But also, in all seriousness, I think I want to come up with a fun name for the playbook. I mean, we're an entertainment company, so making it fun to go visit the playbook, we'll encourage it with my staff specifically, but also making sure that it's really detailed and that also it's a company culture that's collaborative, so they can contribute it to it as well. I can't tell you how many times our hosts said, oh, I remembered this thing or just thought of this idea, and they're helping improve our product as they're running it and inviting them that this is a live document, not me telling you what to do, but so we get better together.
And for not having anything in front of me, I'm actually really proud of myself, because it means it's not in the book, it's in me. And even if I only implement half the stuff I learned here, like maybe I only had said half the stuff, that's what's going to be the win for my business.
You did fantastic. Everyone up here did a great job. You guys could have taught the class. It was very impressive across the board. With that said, the judges have ranked you all. And without further ado, in 7th place, Quality Diamonds Wholesale. In 6th place, Chris Mari Golf. In 5th place, Badass PMU. In 4th place, Wonderlight Jewelry. In 3rd place, Your Creative Concierge. In 1st place, Great Team Building.
Jack is a rock star. That boy, I mean, that brain. I think after he went and we all scored, there was like a collective, and we looked at each other and went, I want his brain, man.
Jack had one crazy thing that he did that I didn't see anybody else do, and that is he knew his material without even referencing his actual playbook. And so he got up there and struggled at first, finding the place in his book. And when the 3 minutes came, he put it away. And off the top of his head, he was able to recount and walk through the entire pitch. And that didn't just show memorization or resourcefulness or quick wit. That showed that he really understood the material. He really comprehended it. And he really internalized that for his business. And that was just the right amount of edge that I think made him pull ahead.
I was so proud, and I know he was excited, but I think I might have been a little more excited for him. If I could jump out of my chair, I would have. I didn't really want to gloat in front of my other fellow judges over there. I was so proud of Jack, and a win for him really felt like a win for me. But he deserves all the credit and all the glory because he earned it.
All right, it's time to disclose who will be wearing the red jerseys on the final day. Who's got the highest likelihood at this moment of winning the $5,000 prize? In no particular order. Cultivate Recovery Center. The Neurodiverse Teacher. And Great Team Building.
I'm getting back to my hotel room after the Blox day 4, where we were talking all about systems and how to leverage your employees and tech to scale. And I kept my red winner's shirt tonight and actually won the Blox off, which is the final competition at the end of the night. So I'm feeling super proud of myself. I could not find the page in my notes I wanted to talk about, but I still killed it, which for me was like amazing because I know now it's not on the page, it's up here, and I'm actually really learning and absorbing the material and I'm gonna take it back to my business and crush it. So I'm feeling super great, super tired, and excited for another awesome day tomorrow. Another day at the Blox. I am heading into the last day. I still got my red leader shirt on, and man, am I so tired. But I'm feeling good about today. It's all about retaining your customers, wowing your customers, making sure that they are delighted with your product and they keep coming back. And I'm feeling like this is something I'm really excited about because I have a lot of ideas already about how I want my business to do better at that. I think we do a good job. Of course, there's always room to improve. And looking forward to another really awesome day. So here we go.
The bar is so high now that not only do you need to provide everything that you're saying you're going to provide, but you need to do so in a way in which they say, yes, I love the experience as well.
Why it's important to understand like your customer's journey is because it's not just about getting people in the door. You actually have to provide an experience. In my business, we basically, literally thank everyone for becoming part of the Canine Lifeline family.
Well, the very last exercise. What we're going to be doing is you're going to be given 15 minutes to craft a 3-minute presentation on your customer success strategy. We want to know about time to value, onboarding, aha moments. We also want to know what technology you're going to use to empower yourself through this entire journey. Here we are, at last, the very last game, the very last chance to score points. And normally I would have 3 cue cards. but we can't figure out who's going to win tonight because that's the ramifications will affect the runners-up, the winners, and the check recipient. That's how important tonight's standings are. That's how close the game is. And it's all because the judges have been really, have been having quite the week, putting all sorts of people, all sorts of places. Bring them out. All right, the winner of Alex's pod, Vamonos Vans. The winner of Courtney's pod, Renew Concierge. The winner of Heather's pod, Great Team Building. Winner of Simone and Steven's pod, EC Brand. The winner of Judge Fudge's pod, Ember. The winner of Marcy's pod, Abiture. The winner of Brian's pod, Bounski.
It was very competitive in the pod today. I mean, there were 2 red shirts in there, and there were former red shirts in there, and then there were just really darn good people in there. You definitely felt the air get tense.
There's some stiff competition up there, especially Jack. He's on fire.
This is so critical to me right now because everybody else in that room are killer players too. So I'm feeling confident because I've done this twice before. But I would be lying if I say I wasn't just a little bit terrified.
So everything I'm going to talk about is all through an email CRM system because everything I do is virtual. All my clients want to connect via email through business. So everything is going to be uploaded and all the messages I talk about are timed, auto-placed. So as soon as they book, we get all their information together and then it goes into that CRM and they time them out from when they booked and also keeping in mind when their event is. So the first thing we want to do with the onboarding is we're going to increase their time to value in 3 ways. One, we're going to send them an email with how to prepare their team for the awesome event they're going to have, which we're going to tell them that it's going to be great, and then we're going to make it awesome. 2 is we're going to send them a sample game just that they can click into and start playing around with so they can start to experience a little bit of what that actually looks like. And then lastly, we're going to later on send them a pre-written email that they can send to their team to hype them up and get them excited as well. With the education videos, I don't want to fall into the presenter's dilemma that I usually did before of like over-explaining and keep it super simple, stupid. So over the course of a set of 4 emails, we'll have an intro video to the game and events instructions. Then we're going to later on send them an email that goes a video about the psychological process of how and why we designed the event the way it did. And then lastly, we're gonna do a case study of another business that has already gone through this event and saying, hey, this is how my team was before, this is how it was after, and look at how different it is, and you're gonna have an awesome time. And then at the bottom of each email, let them know we're here to schedule a call if they need to.
Where are a couple other places, or one other place that you didn't mention, where you can mess up in the beginning of your funnel that will really hurt you later on during customer success?
Somewhere that's gonna hurt us when we first mess up, for me, is the part of the onboarding process with that, like getting the I think there's 2, time to value and the education side. On the education side, it's hard to talk about, hey, you're gonna go online and do escape rooms and Zoom and team build and all the things together, and trying to be proactive about minimizing their fears, making sure that they all know where to go, just really dumbing that down for them.
What is something that you took from today that you'll be able to implement next week?
So many things. One big thing that I want to implement starting next week is actually with the follow-up. I am sitting on a bank of I don't know how many thousands of emails sitting in an Excel sheet that need to go into our CRM and that we need to start following up. And then the first thing I want to do is offer them some free value about, hey, we noticed that this was the last time you booked. Now's a great time to, based on the game you booked last time, this is what we recommend next time, and immediately start following up and schedule an automated system to keep in track and make them remember who we are and that we want to re-engage in a relationship again and use rebranding as an excuse to do that.
In third place, Abiture. Oh yeah. First place, Great Team Building. And in second place, Vominos Vans. All right, everybody say it with me. What is the one word that sums up customer success? That's what I'm talking about. You guys did fantastic. Get off my stage.
All week, I feel like I've been with my people. You guys work on your business with such passion. I've been calling your babies ugly all week, and you guys keep coming back for more.
I was blown away by your ability to change on the spot.
Excited for you guys because I just see so much valuable people in this room.
And you've all taught me so much in your own individual ways.
Seeing you guys' journey has helped us grow as entrepreneurs, business owners, parents.
Thank you for trusting me with your business and allowing me to try and share some of my knowledge that I picked up with you guys.
And can't wait to see where all of you go. It's going to be really, really cool to watch.
And I hope that we were able to add value to your journey. Thank you.
Well, well, well. All the scores have been tabulated. We know who all the winners, all the runners-up, all the individuals who are going to be getting the much-deserved praise. There will be 4 people representing the winning category, and those 4 are the neurodiverse teacher.
You know, things might not go the way that you want it to, things might not look the way you want it to, but you just keep pushing and you keep learning and you keep showing up for yourself. It can still end up being really amazing things. Like, even when you're having the most doubt behind the scenes, the universe could be doing some really cool things today.
Next up, your creative concierge.
I'm in shock, I'm speechless, I'm proud, I'm sad this is over. I would really hope that anyone watching my journey would learn that consistency is key.
Next up, Cultivate Recovery Center.
And I'm with all of these people, established businesses that already have the experience. They are already in the day-to-day. So I really thought that I would be at a disadvantage when it came to actually putting what we learned into practice. I guess it sunk in. I mean, I did something right.
Next up, great team building.
Being one out of 70 entrepreneurs from all over the country, some who have been in business for so long, I totally feel like I actually belong in this arena now. This is the right choice for me, and it's been kind of mind-blowing. I still don't even fully believe it.
All right, without further ado, the first winner of our prize for $5,000 is great team building.
I actually won, which is awesome. I'm super excited, really, really happy. I have a long to-do list leaving the Blox of things I want to do. So I'm still deciding exactly. I think my initial instinct is with marketing budget, but I'm gonna need to think about it and make sure I'm investing it wisely, not only in my company, but in me too.
It means the world to me that you guys would give us this much trust and this much time and this much vulnerability. I hope that we repaid you with an equal amount of education and community, and I hope that we filled up your cup just as much as you did ours. Again, we're always available. There's always next steps. There's always going to be ways that we can connect you with others and with ourselves. I look forward to the next steps. I'm out. Bye!
I just won the Blox! Oh my gosh, it was incredible. I am so excited right now. Living the dream, living the dream. Keep going strong.